Welcome to Making Pocket Camp in New Horizons Part 2. In Part 1, we took care of all the campsites, and today we will be tackling all of the other little areas like OK Motor, ShovelStrike, and the Marketplace. Go ahead and subscribe if you want to stick around for Part 3, where I'm going to finish everything off, and then the final piece where I tour the entire completed island. And let's get started with ShovelStrike Quarry. I already did all the terraforming and laying of paths and things just because those parts are kind of boring. So here's our area starting out, and we're just gonna lay down those items. In Pocket Camp, this area is used just for hitting rocks and getting gems from them, and then you trade those gems in for what crafting material is being offered that 12 hours. It used to be every 3 hours it would change up, but now it's every 12. So you don't interact with any of the items here. They're just background as you smash all the rocks. Which means this area will serve as a perfect rock garden. So far I've been lucky enough for one to spawn here, and by the end of time traveling to decorate all this and get the items from the catalog and things, I ended up getting 3, and hopefully as I finish up the other areas, the other 3 will come here without me having to cover my entire town with crap in order to get them to spawn nowhere else. I'm fingers crossed. And moving into the background, this area is not actually accessible in Pocket Camp. The second you try to access it, it's like, hey, go hit the rocks. Like, you can't leave until you hit the rocks, kid. But there's just more decor up here. This throwback race car is standing in line for like a bulldozer type thing, because there's no bulldozers in game. So we get a race car bed instead. This area has some country fencing. I think it fits the mood quite well. Very cute. I don't do a great job of incorporating it because the cliffs are kind of weird, but you know, you try. And instead of having an oil pump, we're going green here with a wind turbine. Mostly because we don't have an oil pump in this game. They had one in New Leaf for one of the projects, but it's so ugly. I don't know why someone would use it, but in this construction site kind of sense, it makes sense. Actually, I don't know why you'd have an oil rig right next to where you're mining. On an island, you wouldn't even have an oil rig, would you? Is there oil on islands? I don't think so, especially one this small. But there are dinosaur bones, so theoretically, there could be deposits of oil if this island's been around long enough for there to be dinosaur bones, right? I don't know, let me know. Either way, the windmill, much more aesthetic than an oil rig. For these top parts, I'm trying to place plants like they were in the actual game, but, you know, obviously it doesn't translate perfectly from one game to the next, so some are gonna be misplaced a little bit. And here we are, the finished ShovelStrike Quarry. As I said, I managed to get 3 rocks in there, which is awesome. Hopefully the other 3 will come, and there's everything else. It's pretty close except for the windmill and the throwback race car bed, but everything else works pretty dang well. And on to OK Motors. Once again, I already have the walls up and the flooring down, so we're just gonna get into placing these items. In Pocket Camp, OK Motors is, I was gonna say where you go, but like at this point, if you play for a while, you probably don't go there anymore. But starting out, you would go there not that frequently, but you had a reason to in the beginning. And that is that they sell different exteriors for your RV. And that is why I'm putting these RVs down. They have like 2 on display every day and they change out and you can buy that exterior for your RV. It's a pretty fun idea to be able to customize your RV. But the ones on display didn't really matter. Like, you gotta see the paint job big and alive, but you could get any of the paint jobs at any time. Unfortunately, a lot of them cost leaf tickets, which is you buy with real life currency, so I never got into it because I wasn't going to buy with leaf tickets. Some do cost bells, which you can earn in-game, but they tend to be the lamer designs, no offense. Anyway, so in the end, if you're not changing your RV that much, you really never go here. Which is pretty sad, because I like this area. I think it's pretty well designed, all the little car things and such. But mostly, I love the OK Motor guys. They're 3 pigeons, I think? Crows, maybe? They're all definitely birds, and they all have black feathers. I don't know what they are. But it's pretty sad that their area is kind of useless, because I kind of forget they exist. Like, I haven't once been like, I wonder how they could possibly be in New Horizons, just because they're so out of sight, out of mind. There is one other reason to visit. I think this was introduced in like the third or fourth update to the game, and that is Break Tapper. It's kind of like a slot machine, but you choose when each slot stops, so it's not just chance. There is actual skill in winning it. Anyway, the whole point of playing Break Tapper is that in exchange for friend essence, which is a material you earn by interacting with other people in the game, I guess. I mostly get it from giving people bugs in their garden during the garden events. If you've never played Pocket Camp, it is so different from any other Animal Crossing game. It sounds so dumb to explain and weird, but anyway. If you win, you get bottle caps, and you exchange these bottle caps for either materials that you need for crafting or for exclusive OK Motors merch. Okay, so that's the whole point of OK Motors, and here it is all done. I did not show doing the background trees and things because I'm going to show those for the other two areas, and it's really not that interesting, honestly. And there you go. And with OK Motors done, we are moving on to the marketplace. Nowadays in Pocket Camp, you get most of your new items from events or fortune cookies, but once upon a time, you would craft your items. And once upon a time, there were some items you couldn't craft or get from the other methods, and you would buy them from here in the marketplace. So there were clothes from Able Sisters, there were items from Timmy and Tommy. Able Sisters would sometimes switch out for Kicks, and he would sell shoes. And for some reason, they also have Reese here, and talking to her just pulls up the menu for crafting that you could get anywhere at any time. So that's there for some reason. In an attempt to be a little more authentic right here, I'm gonna make the big tree. I saw this illusion a couple different places. Unfortunately, I don't know who invented it, but basically by doing these trees in this pattern, it makes it look like one really big tree. Unfortunately, you have to stand at the right place with your camera angle at the right angle for the illusion to work. This is why I never do illusions, because like they're great for thumbnails when you're standing in that exact spot, but when it comes to living and moving around your island, a lot of illusions just don't work from every angle. Some do, but for the most part, they don't. And I will show you how the illusion turns out once I'm finished with everything else and we review the area all done. In Pocket Camp, these fences are white, and classically, these picket fences would be white in every other Animal Crossing game. I'm a little bit annoyed that New Horizons hasn't implemented anything to change the colors of the fences, because these clearly should be white, not this wooden color. But anyway, at launch, or if you're new to Pocket Camp, you do go here regularly, but once you get all the items, you pretty much stop going here, and there's not too many items you get from them. They really are focused on crafting. Honestly, since launch, this area has kind of remained untouched. Like, they haven't given the Able Sisters or Timmy and Tommy any new items in years to sell. The newest thing is the fortune cookies, and these have been out for over 2 years. And you really don't have to come here for the fortune cookies, because they do a shortcut in the main map menu. Since it's something you check on every day to see if you had the slim chance of getting a special fortune cookie. Unfortunately, I did not have a ton of room for this area, so I just threw in Town Hall, Able Sisters, and Timmy and Tommy. Town Hall kind of represents Isabel that sits there to give you advice, and then the other two obviously represent their actual selves. I would have loved to make a little spot for Reese with like a crafting table or something, and some pink, but there's just not room. And this area doesn't really have a ton of decoration items. I just threw up marketplace decorations and tiled the place. Alright, and here we are with the finished area. I probably will go back and put dresses out right there, and for them I'll probably put some items out since that's what they have in-game, but you know, the shops are there to represent them. I put the fortune cookie cart out to represent them, and here is that illusion. It's okay. It's really not great, especially once you are standing at the exact same spot you need to be in and moving around, and all the flowers I think came out pretty nice. Unfortunately, room constraints really don't help with making it look exactly like the real thing. But all in all, I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. If I wasn't comparing it to Pocket Camp at all, I think it'd be a pretty darn good town center area to shop and all that. So, it's pretty nice, pretty nice. So there you have it. OK Motors and ShovelStrike Quarry and Marketplace are done. The only things we have left are the cabin, the campsite, and the Happy Home Academy. I am pretty dang excited for these ones because none of them will be me trying to copy and paste and finding items to replace it. It's actually going to be me decorating how I see fit, because that's what the campsite and cabin are for. Anyway, I hope to finish them off in the next few weeks and have that video posted and then finish the tour of the entire thing and be done with the pocket camp item so we can move on to the road trip island just in time for summer. I'm very excited for it. I have everything planned out and it's gonna be, I mean, doing the copy and paste thing is nice because you don't have to think about it and it's kind of fun. Well, you do have to think about it. It's kind of fun to think about how you're gonna replace things that are no longer in game with something else. But it will be nice to just be able to free create as I want to create an area in a way that makes sense to me and all that, instead of trying to copy someone else's work with not the right items. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Go ahead and subscribe to stick around for all that wonderful island creation I'll be doing. Have the loveliest of lovely day. Bye!